Hi, this is Poster Girl. Welcome to Beyond Bandwives. These episodes are about independent, trailblazing women who are creative, self-assured, and community-minded. Ladies that are inspiring, intelligent, and have learned to take control of their own destiny. They are beautiful and bold, both inside and out, and are the very women I hope to emulate. For this episode, we get to talk to Angela Padgett.
That's right. Hey.
How are you today?
I'm doing very well.
Well, Angela, you wear many hats.
I try to.
From your day job at the City of Kings Mountain, right, to all of your hard work with the Cleveland County Music Hall of Fame, among some other things, of course, in your family and everything. So why don't you just take a second and kind of introduce yourself to all of us?
Okay.
Give us your little 1-minute speech here.
Well, I'm Angela Padgett, and I'm currently, of course, employed by the City of Kings Mountain in the Special Events Department. I'm the Special Events Coordinator. So when you see an event going on at the city, whether it's the concert series that we put on at the amphitheater, which I enjoy very much, Christmas parade, Great Pumpkin Parade, whatever you see in the city where it comes to an event's concerned, that's put on by our department. And we're a department of 3. It used to just be my supervisor, Christy Connor, and myself. Now we're moved up to one more person named Gabriel, and who's a musician, by the way.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we're very happy about that. But I've been there since 2019. But a lot of people don't realize I actually started there right out of college. And then I moved on to NASCAR.
Yes.
And then I came back.
Yes.
So this is my second run with the city.
With the City of Kings
and I
Mountain.
enjoy it. And I still have my friends are still, a lot of my friends that I worked with before is still there. One of them, Marilyn Sellers, is just retiring.
Aww.
She was city clerk and hired me the first time, and now she's a city manager and she's retiring.
She's retiring.
So yeah,
well, congratulations to her.
That's right. We just had a party yesterday. But then, and then, of course, several years back, Mr. Weathers, Phil Weathers, invited me to join the Hall of Fame as a board member. He had started, and Mr. Weathers and I go way back because he was my science teacher in 8th grade.
Was he really?
He really was,
wow.
So, and we, before I went back to the city after leaving Hendrick, I had a stint at the Neal Senior Center.
Okay.
And so he did a fundraiser there, and that's how I got to know him again. And he helped me out with some other fundraisers. And
awesome.
So that's how I got to know him. And so now I'm a part of the Hall of Fame. I'm a vice president. And, of course, we just had our first induction ceremony.
I know. It was wonderful. We were able to go.
Very happy.
Y'all did a fabulous job.
Thank you.
With it.
And we're looking forward to the one for 2023.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to start working on our voting for the inductions.
Okay,
Which we want the people of the county to start voting on these folks. We're going to work on that a little bit. And, of course, right now, you can't see, but we're sitting in the OHS studios, which will be eventually our headquarters in our museum that we're going to put together.
Where it'll all be,
And
but you said this building's been here since
1947, I would say. Because, of course, if these walls could talk right now.
Oh, I'm sure.
And they've met Earl Scruggs and Don Gibson and Patty Lovelace.
Yes.
And Randy Travis has been in here. And history just abounds in this building, And and I worked here 20 years ago.
Yes.
As a little DJ sitting in that other room in here. Yeah, I sure did.
So was it for WOHS or
WOHS, right then it was called the Piedmont Superstations Radio Network. So it's WCSL, WLON, GNC, and Gas, which is now here still.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that in a minute. But Calvin owned that station, Calvin's Hastings, and he had OHS, which was here.
Right.
So, so I've been in this building a long time.
So what you said you were a DJ, what kind of music did you play?
Country.
So you did country.
Yeah, we did country.
Okay.
Now, he did some beach music, which they still do, but it was mostly a sports talk station, too.
Oh, okay.
So I would actually, before the age of the internet, we would sit in there and call different radio stations on a Friday night to find out what the football
scores were.
because we didn't have the internet then. So that was my job on Friday nights, was sitting in there to calling other stations. So, and Drew Fulton, who is on our board here with the Hall of Fame, was at WADA doing the same thing.
Okay, doing the same thing. Yeah.
So we graduated high school together.
Yeah.
So, but it's fun. Yeah, a lot of
Great
memories
stories.
here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to ask you. You've mentioned NASCAR,
Yes.
so tell me about that little chapter in your life.
Well, that chapter started when I was born, actually, because my family was involved in the racing.
Oh, okay.
And so that is a family sport. My granddaddy raced, my uncle did.
Really? Wow.
He sure did. And then Papa, used to race down here at Cleveland County Fairgrounds.
Okay.
And with Lee Petty and Curtis Turner and all these older drivers, the core drivers that started it all, really. Ralph Earnhardt and all that. Mm-hmm. So and then as I was progressing through school, and the radio bug had bit me, and I wanted to do radio and television. And then, but when I got into college at App State, I met some buddies that loved NASCAR just as much as I did.
Yes.
So we started on a radio program at WSU.
Really?
NASCAR Thunder.
Okay.
And so the racing bug bit.
Okay.
Then, the radio's still there, but I thought, well, if I don't,
I'm going to enjoy this racing thing here a little bit.
I'm going to do NASCAR. And right out of college, my uncle, William Rayfield, worked at Hendrick Motorsports.
Okay.
And so he calls me and says, they're building a museum. They're going to need some people. And I interviewed, and it took almost 6 months.
Okay.
So I was at the city of Kings Mountain. Remember I told you I went there first. And they called me there on the job saying, hey, come to Hendrick. So put my 2 weeks notice in, and I went there for 20 years, and then I've come back.
So what did you do at NASCAR? Was it event kind of stuff there?
Well, it was a little bit of everything, but I mostly ran their museum and their merchandise.
Okay.
And again, that was at, I take it back. My internship was in radio PRN.
Okay.
And then when I got to Hendrick, it was merchandising and museum. Okay. So, but there was, I used my communications degree because you had to market the thing.
Yes, you
did. And marketing and social media. When I first started, there was no social media.
No.
So it was all word of mouth.
I know.
And brochures and postcards and
newspaper
like
ads
and using the race cars.
That's right.
And the drivers' uniforms and that sort of thing. And but I got to know. I started in '96 at Hendrick. And then, so I had a good run there. And
awesome.
Still have friends there. They helped me out in my job at the city.
Yeah.
Last year, we brought 4 Hendrick cars to one of the car
events, a car
show cruise in. So it's all come full circle.
It sure has.
And now I'm doing a radio show back here again at the studios for GNC. So NASCAR.
And that's the GNC is the radio station like in Gaston County. Like we don't hear that in
it's housed
Cleveland
here,
County.
But the transmitter is in Gaston. Yeah, and it's owned by the mayor of Kings Mountain, who is one of my supervisors.
Yeah. So you really do wear lots of hats. So is it a once a week show that you do?
It'll start the Monday after the Daytona 500.
Okay.
So and then it'll be on every week until the end of the season.
I gotcha. Mm-hmm. So it'll be like a you'll talk about whatever race was on in the weekend.
Right.
So
and of course I do a lot of research I try to bring drivers on.
Yeah.
But what I like to do is, because I was one of the people that you didn't hear about.
Yeah.
Like I was a merchandising, you didn't hear about that. You just heard about drivers and crew chiefs.
Yes, you did.
So I interview people that worked in the motor shop.
Okay.
And people that worked in merchandising and licensing and things like that.
So you try to talk to the people that don't usually get in the limelight, so to speak.
That's right. And they have stories.
Oh,
too.
I believe it.
My uncle can tell. My uncle's always, he does the first show of the year and the last show of the year.
Okay.
And he was Darrell Waltrip on Darrell Waltrip's crew, Tim Richmond and Jeff Bodine and all these, Kel Yarborough and all these older drivers, and he's got a ton of stories.
Oh, I bet he does.
Yeah, so I find folks like them that I worked with, or that that came in the gift shop, and I still am friends with people that I waited on, or the customers.
Right.
They were my friends. They turned into friends.
You stayed in contact all these years.
That's right. And so I call them and say, hey, come on the show, air with me.
I think that's fabulous. That's an awesome thing to do. So I'm not as much into racing. I'm really not into racing at all, NASCAR at all. But I worked for a company, tell my age a little bit, tell both our ages a little bit here. And in the late 90s, and they had a suite at Lowe's Motors. Well, it was Lowe's Motor Speedway then, but at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And I got to work. I wasn't the main person in charge of the planning those weekends, but I was able to work for it, and I had such a super fun time doing it. And it is a world unto itself.
That's right.
And the most entertaining part to me was always the people in the infield.
Oh, yeah.
Young campers and all those shenanigans going on.
That's right. But, I got to meet a lot of people, and then a lot of musicians would come through there.
Yes.
Because Mr. Hendrick has a man cave. And one of the things that he always said to folks that come and wanted to, see what they called the Heritage Center and all that, especially if it was a musician, they had to bring an instrument with them.
Oh, okay.
So he has a man cave full of instruments, and one of them is Earl Scruggs' banjo.
Is it really?
And
oh, my gosh, how cool.
Yeah. So, but the job I have now, like I said,
yes,
and I love I love, people will tell you I love NASCAR, but there is nothing better than standing behind a stage and knowing that you did this.
Created that.
Yeah.
I can believe that.
And when we launched that concert series we were going to in 2020.
Yes.
At the City of Kings Mountain.
Yeah.
So we did
this is the thing that you guys do during the summer.
That's right.
And you have, is it once a month?
It's once a month.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you guys did tribute bands this past year.
And we're doing some this year too.
Are
it's
you?
Going to be pretty cool. Yeah.
Awesome.
And I can't tell you who they are.
No, that's
yet,
okay. I understand.
But I can say, like the Bee Gees, when we brought in New York Bee Gees.
Yeah.
And just stand there and listening and just backstage. And when we did the Michael Jackson tribute, oh my gosh, and the Fleetwood Mac. I mean, just all these different ones. And then we do Beach Blast, and all these beach music groups come in, and and just see the happiness in people's faces listening to that good music. Mm-hmm. And then you got the kids,
and even the performers.
Oh yeah,
the musicians and the
then
performers.
You have the children that we do the inflatables and all the games and stuff for.
Yeah.
But the day of that Michael Jackson show, because you would have thought those babies, the front you would think would have been adults. It was all children.
It was,
and they felt they were looking at him like, that's him.
Yeah, that's as close as you're going to get.
Yeah, and so, but it's so cool to be able to negotiate, with the bands and talk to their managers.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how I met Chris, because they were going to do Earth Day that year, and we had, because of COVID, boom.
Didn't get to do it.
So we're going to work them in. I promise you. I've already told him. I said, well, I've already given him 2 dates, actually. So
good.
Yeah,
good.
So we'll see what we do there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really cool. Really cool. I love music, and that's something that, I talked about. NASCAR, of course, was big in my life, but so was music. And I was lucky enough to have a family that had my mother listen to the Beatles and the Monkees.
Okay.
My daddy listened to Kenny Rogers and Waylon Jennings and, country. My grandmother listened to Southern gospel.
Yes.
My aunt listened to Southern rock. And then I had my babysitter listen to Elvis. So
you had all of it, didn't you? Mm-hmm. So what is your favorite?
I love Elvis.
Elvis is Elvis.
I do, but when you work in radio, you really have to be you have to love all genres, really, and know about what these bands have done and who they're married to and who they're, who they're not married to anymore,
That's
who their kids are, and all the
who they're touring with, who they're not touring with anymore.
Exactly. What's Ozzy doing today? You gotta, and so it's just a great job to be in, and music is, there's nothing better. It gets us through a lot of hard times.
It does. It really does. There is music for every single emotion you can possibly find. Mm-hmm. And sometimes a song or a piece of music will elicit the emotion.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't even know you had.
Oh, yeah, exactly right. And but and then the children coming up, like my daughter.
Yeah.
She loves the Bee Gees.
Does she?
And she didn't get to come to the concert. And Rod Stewart, she's 14. She's listening to Rod Stewart.
Smart girl.
She's listening to rap too.
Yeah.
And so I come from 80s. I'm Sugar Hill Gang.
Yes.
And Run DMC and the Fat Boys and all this. But and I listen to some
Beastie
Tupac
Boys,
and LL Cool J and all that.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff I don't let her listen to though. But but she loves Doja Cat and those, and so she she's got a music. She's a good. My little youngin's a good singer.
Is she really?
Yeah, she is.
Okay.
And but she wouldn't join the band. But she loves playing piano.
Okay.
Yeah. So she is.
She's got that
yeah.
in there a little bit.
That
Sometimes
is.
you just have to kind of let it percolate just a
That's
little bit,
right.
and then it'll come out. So is she your only?
She is.
She is
Yep,
your
only,
only
my
one.
only child.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and she was there in the NASCAR days with me.
Yeah.
She's the reason why I came home.
Was she?
That was too far of a drive to be away from her.
It is. If you were living here and driving,
Oh yeah,
that is a
Bowling
long
Springs
way.
area going all
Oh
the way
golly,
every day.
that was a trek.
So, but she enjoys the concerts, and she does that. And
Does
so,
she ever go, Mom? You need to get so and so. You need to get a Doja Cat tribute band.
Well, she actually says you need to get the real one. I'm like, well, we don't have the money to do that. Get us a sponsor, Delana.
That's right.
Help us do
You
that.
can start training her now.
That's right. Yeah. She's a good debater, so she'll be a good salesperson.
Yeah, very. Yeah, good then.
Or somebody's lawyer.
So turning it to you just a little bit. I mean, we've been talking a lot about you, but we've been talking about the things that you've done in your passions and things. So I want you to tell me, so when you think of when people think of you, what do you want them to remember?
I just want them to remember that I love everybody, and I love to laugh, and I love to have a good time, and I love having lots of friends, and I love my God, and I love my family, and I love what I'm doing right now. I love music, and I guess just a hodgepodge of things. You know, that's me. I want to be remembered more for being. More than anything, being Delana Padgett's mother.
Yes.
But I also want to be remembered that the thing about what I'm doing now is it's outreach, it's quality of life.
It is.
And and if anything said, if COVID said anything, it make see what I'm trying to say here.
It's okay.
If COVID taught us anything, is that we need socialization.
Yes, we do.
Being cooped up in a house is not good.
It's not.
So we bring that socialization to our part of our county, our part of North Carolina, because not just people from our county come to these concerts. There's Florida and South Carolina, Georgia, and all, but we bring a closeness to people. We're getting them out of the house, and socialization is key to mental health.
It is,
and it's very important and that's what I do. Okay, that's what I feel like I do. Stan Lowry and I've talked about this. He's quality of life. He's not. It's not just the theater sitting there with music in it.
Right.
It's helping these people
it's
with
about
happiness
the
and mental. Exactly. And happiness. That's what we're bringing to folks through music. And that's what I want to be. Being Delana's mama and being remembered for.
There's your legacy.
That's right.
Bringing happiness to people, especially through music.
That's right.
So that's great. I love that. I love that. That's good.
Took me a minute to get there.
But you perfectly said that perfectly. So turning it away from music just a little bit. Music. So do you have a favorite book? A favorite movie?
Oh my God, Grease.
Grease, yeah.
Yes,
I knew it would be a musical.
And my three favorite movies, and I love Rocky.
Yeah.
But as far as a musical,
it's
got to be Grease. I watch that every time. Now since she's passed away, I still cannot believe that.
I know.
But I've watched that movie. I remember the first time I ever watched it, and my dad. It came on network television, and I kept telling Mama, don't. I was probably 8 years old, and I said, Mom, don't let me forget. It was a Sunday night,
gotta watch
and
it.
we were flying home from church to turn it on, and I got to see it for the first time. And every time when VHS came out, I went and bought one of those. DVD came out, I've actually got the movie poster.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, and it's
very
John
cool.
Travolta signed it.
Ah,
I've got that.
Mm-hmm. So where'd you get that? How'd you get to
off
see?
eBay.
Okay.
And it come with a certificate. I know people. That one.
Yeah.
No, but no, it come with a certificate.
No, they authenticated it and everything.
Yeah.
So
I love that movie to death.
So where is it in your house? Is
it's actually still rolled up in the container.
Is it? Okay, I didn't know if you had it displayed or.
No, I wish I could. It is huge. I mean,
I bet it is.
It's bigger than that thing. That
Yeah,
picture right there,
it's bigger than what goes on a home wall.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Biggest window.
And, but yeah, I love that. I love that movie. But Urban Cowboy.
Yes, I know. I like that
Saturday
one
Night
too.
Fever,
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz, of course, is another one. But Grease is by far my favorite. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love Grease too. I can watch it all the time. I've watched it 50 times, and I still watch it again.
Yeah, but my favorite book. You're talking about favorite book,
yeah.
And this goes back to my childhood.
Okay.
And this book is getting ready this summer. The movie's being released.
Yeah.
Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret.
Yes,
Judy
I
Blume.
know. Yes,
I love that book.
I do
growing up.
too.
I read it, and so when I heard that movie was being filmed,
yes,
I'm gonna go ahead and
it's
tell
going to be good.
And I don't mind telling. I think the cat's been out of the bag, but they looked at Central School in Kings Mountain to film that movie.
No, I didn't know
and
that.
they passed on it. Yeah, and they went up, I think, to Greensboro area to film it. But they were looking. I remember the day they walked through it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would have been super cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love that.
So, of course, they were looking for extras and kids and all that. So
like
I submitted Delena's picture. I never heard anything, but I didn't. She didn't know I did that.
Would have been a nice prize for her.
Yeah. But
has she read "Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret"?
No, she's not read it.
She's
yet.
not read it.
Yeah, she's into Where the Crawdads Sing right now.
Oh yeah, it's great.
So I think it's Where is it When or Where or something like.
Where?
Anyway, she's into that one right now, and so she'll get into it eventually.
She will.
I'm sure. Mm-hmm.
She will.
Especially when the movie comes out, she'll probably want to.
We were
read it.
talking about it at work the other day. I said something about just grew up on Judy Blume. I love her books. Started with what was it? Fudge and
Super Fudge. Well, Tales for Fourth Grade Nothing.
Yes, and otherwise known as Sheila the Great.
Oh, I love that.
And grew right on into Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. To Deanie. There was another one. I can't even remember the name of it now, but it was
Blubber.
Blubber. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, Freckle Juice. There's a bunch of them. I got them all.
I've read them all too, and grew and. As I got older and became a teenager, I learned a few things in those books.
Right.
They kind of, some what at that time was, salacious stuff there.
Was,
whoa, when you're 12 and 13.
I was like, whoa.
Let me go back and read that again.
Yeah, exactly.
I did. I loved her books. Love her books. So I'm super excited about that movie too.
Me too.
I don't go to the movie theater very much, but that'll probably be one I go to the movie theater.
Oh, yeah. And Kathy Bates is in it, Rachel McAdams.
I know.
The little girl from Ant-Man's in it. Yeah. So, and I think she, what was the dog movie? Dog's Journey. She was in that one,
okay.
Yeah. So she's a good little actress.
Very cute. Mm-hmm. Very cute. Very cute. So I am gonna go back to NASCAR for just a minute. What's the most? I'm going to try to get a little bit of juicy stuff here from you. So, what was the craziest thing you ever saw at a NASCAR race?
Well, when people were passionate about their drivers,
yes,
right?
Very.
And so when Dale Earnhardt passed away, this is a pretty funny story.
Okay.
My husband at the time he just didn't care about NASCAR, but this time I said, I've got to go to the. I didn't go to races anymore because I saw them every day.
Yes,
cars every day and whatever. But I had to go to that first All-Star race after he passed away, and we got stuck in the seat way up. It started storming, and this guy is drunk as a skunk was right behind us, and he was going, "That's Dale talking to us. That's Dale talking to us." He was drunk, and I turned around and said, "Well, Dale's getting ready to kill us dead because there's lightning coming." And of course, that's when they stopped the race, and everybody had to go. But that was probably the funniest thing I ever saw was that's Dale talking to us. But I can tell you some crazy stories, because there's a bunch of men that work in NASCAR, so, I've heard a lot of the different things about strippers and all this stuff, and I'm like, well, I'm just going to do my job.
I'm just over here doing my thing. Y'all do your thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but, it was fun times, though, but, I just,
It's a little calmer working with the City of Kings Mountain and the Cleveland County Music Hall of Fame.
Exactly, yeah. But it was a fun job. My boss, Chuck Mack, he was very flamboyant. He was an artist.
Yeah.
So there's a little lady that lived near Hendrick. And she would grow that corn in her front yard. You knew the still on the back porch was getting ready to start.
Okay.
So she would bring him corn liquor once a week, and he was a diabetic.
Oh God!
So he would drink that stuff and pass out behind his desk.
I bet he did.
We'd come in from lunch and he'd be gone. Yeah, and that was fun. I can tell you some. I need to write a book.
You should.
I can tell you some stuff. Yeah, but it was that was probably funny too. And it was funny. But she'd bring. And she's passed on now. But when she passed away and we went to her funeral, the family would show pictures of who was in her house visiting her.
Yeah.
Willie Nelson. Of course, Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah.
Johnny Cash had been in her house, just this little white house that sat near the Speedway. And she'd have all these visitors come through.
She got that corn liquor out for all of them.
Oh, yeah. She did. She was a mess. I loved her to death.
Oh, man, I bet she was. And her house was down from the racetrack?
No, it was down from Hendrick Motorsports.
From Hendricks. I got you.
So you go down Stowe Road, which is, her name was Mrs. Stowe.
Yeah.
And because all that land was hers. And she sold it to Mr. Hendrick. So,
okay.
My friend Pam's her granddaughter, and Pam's a hoot like she is. I love Pam to death, and she actually has, she and I helped with fundraisers with Don Gibson. Pam and I did, a long time ago. So and I still talk to her all the time.
Do you? That's wonderful.
Yeah,
you really are a person who connects and stay connected.
Oh, I try to, because I mean, especially the folks I worked with, when I do leave a job, which I've not left many.
Yeah.
But if I had not stayed connected with the folks from Kings Mountain, I worked with 20, 30 years ago,
right,
I may not be sitting where I am right now. So
when you decided, okay, my daughter is at an age I don't need to be so far from here, did you just pick up the phone to the City of Kings Mountain and say, all right, have y'all got anything?
Well, actually, I started looking for a position with the city in 2011. It took me 8 years to get back to the city. Because I was still at Hendrick when I was looking for a job coming home.
Gotcha.
And I tell people, don't give up. Don't give up. If you dream to go somewhere, don't give up, because I didn't. And it took me 8 years, but I got back.
Got back to where you wanted.
But, God was waiting on me for this position right here that I'm in. That's the
timing is everything. Timing is everything sometimes.
His plan.
Yeah.
And because he knew I probably wouldn't have been happy doing anything. Because I advertised. I mean, I interviewed for everything. The energy department, police department, all that. But he knew
Well, definitely your personality, Angela, lends itself very well to being a special events coordinator and all that. That is, you. Your talents would probably be not wasted somewhere else, but not used as to their fullest extent.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I do. But we have a good time there, so we sure do.
So when is you've mentioned that you have the radio show, the NASCAR radio show, even though it's so if anybody in the Gaston County area would know when it's on Mondays.
It'll start
at what
Monday,
time?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock
Mondays.
The
Monday after the Daytona 500.
After the races.
And and then it will run every weekend or every Monday until the end of the season.
Yeah. So
unless there's if something happens to where there's a race doesn't get to run because of rain or something. Yeah. I may not be on that Monday.
Right.
I try to, and we play music too. We don't just talk NASCAR.
Okay. So what do you play?
Yeah. What I do is like whatever state they're in. Say they're in Florida.
Yeah.
I play Florida musicians.
Okay.
So I play Leonard Skinner.
Molly Hatchet.
Exactly. Yeah. If they're in North Carolina, of course, it's Randy Travis. And I'll be Charlie Daniels, because he's from Wilmington. A lot of people don't know that.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, he was born in Wilmington. So different hodgepodge, and it's usually Scruggs. It's all the local folks, and then of course when they go to up north, it depends on again
wherever
what state
you are,
or
wherever the race is.
New Jersey. If they go to New York, I'm always playing. I'll play Bon Jovi or whatever. But it's different music. It's not just. It could be any type of music. So So we get a lot of response out of that. So,
I bet you
we
do.
have call-ins and trivia, and of course we cover the races over the weekend, and so it's fun.
Give all the stats. Do you ever get to go out and do any interviews and any of the races? Do you ever go to the?
Well, no, we do. We do go to the 600 week. We do 600 weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's and we and that's a lot of fun.
Oh,
you know, we get to talk to a lot of the drivers and stuff. Yeah. And we get fed. You know,
yes.
Go in the media center, and I'm like, man, I didn't get to do this.
You got your credentials.
Yeah, I didn't get to do this when I was at Hendrick now.
No.
So this is pretty cool.
Make sure that y'all are well taken care of, so you get to get everybody's name out and all of that.
That's right. That's right. And the first time I got to go back to the racetrack doing this show, I saw my old bosses and stuff, and here I come walking up doing. I mean, I was like, they were like shocked. Like, what in the world?
What are you doing?
And I said, well, I'm in media now. I'm doing, and so that was fun.
That was fun, but it was a lot of fun. So does your daughter tag along with you on any of these?
No, not yet,
even to your like when you're working the events and things.
No, she does.
She's
do
always
that.
there.
Mm-hmm,
Do you put her to work? Do you make her work?
No, she's usually there with
Just
my
let her
parents.
play. Okay.
Yeah. Now she's old enough now. She's 14.
Yeah.
So I might can do that now.
You probably could.
Yeah, but she does enjoy the music, and she actually comes here to the station with me too.
Does she?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to teach her, different, different things, and she's not. She's like I was when I was 14. I wasn't talkative. Can you imagine?
Okay.
I just wasn't out of my shell yet.
Yeah.
When I got in high school and started doing drama and doing all this stuff.
Okay.
Working,
Yeah.
fast food. I had to talk to people.
Yes.
So that's why I'm trying to teach her. Because she's real quiet.
Is she?
But one of these days, hopefully, she'll be like me and she'll just be a talk.
She'll just she may and just bloom right into that little talker that she.
I think she will.
So why don't you tell us what's next for you have mentioned that the Cleveland County Music Hall of Fame that you'll be getting ready to sending ballots out and maybe getting the community involved a little bit in voting too.
That's right.
So
that's what our goal
that's your
is.
next.
Yes, because we picked the first round of inductees.
Yeah, y'all did an amazing job.
Thank you. And but our goal was eventually to have the public vote.
Yeah,
and so we're kind of doing it the NASCAR way, how NASCAR Hall of Fame does it. Right now we have 20. And 20 candidates.
Yeah.
We keep 20.
Yeah.
And then we put the 5 in, and we got to replace them with 5 more. So when we replace with the 5 more, we announce the 20, and the people will vote about who's going to be we'll get it down to 10, and then we'll get it down to the final 5.
Yeah.
Okay. And we had 6 the first time, but we're only going to do 5 from now on.
From now on. Yeah. Okay. That's
good.
And you'll do it in the fall.
That's right.
Like you did before.
Hopefully at the Don Gibson Theater again. Stan had mentioned he wanted to keep doing that, which we were very happy.
Oh, it was a fabulous place
and
to do it.
I'm telling you, Stan and Amelia and Grace and Bobby and Scott and all those folks over there, they were so helpful to us. Oh, and it was just such a nice program, and even the bands and the Circle One being brought, that last show, the showstopper at the end, all those,
where everybody came out,
and
then even you guys even you invited lots of local bands and things up there. You mentioned the Dancing Fleas were up there too.
Yeah, and Chris Pierre at Madison and they were and the bands, the Carolina and all those folks that had participated was up there, and some of Earl's friends had come in, and so it was very, 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 very nice.
It was nice,
and we're looking at who those 5 are going to be this year, and of course we know we got Patty Lovelace that's going to be in the 20, and
cool.
Alicia Bridges from Lattimore, I Love the Nightlife. She's in the 20. And, but there's so much. That's the thing about Cleveland County.
I know.
So, we had people actually say, how are you going to keep going? or they actually said, you're going to run out of it. And I'm like, no, there's no way. Because when you got it's not just national artists,
right?
You've got band leaders from in churches, and school, music teachers from schools, and different. There's just so many different, and it's just going to keep building and building.
It will.
It will. And So, and we have people that send us, hey, have you thought about this person and that person? So that
Ideas.
helps us. And we've got historians that help us.
Yes.
And things like that. But that's where the public comes in too, with name dropping and
exactly
and things of that nature. So, and then the job at Kings Mountain's helped me find people too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
been able to branch out and make some connections there
but
too.
We're going to be very, very tedious about every year about who.
Yeah.
You've got a gentleman he's passed away now, Tom Brooks Sr., who lived in Oak Grove that had the Crossroads Music Park.
Okay.
And in Oak Grove, Kings Mountain, little community, you had Johnny Cash and Loretta Lynn and all these folks come to that music park back in the 60s and 70s and play. And I've got music. I've got the posters, and that gentleman himself, promoters, concert promoters, DJs. You got a lot of people.
Radio
that can be, that can be. And then you got folks like Emily Epley that helped start the Earl Scruggs Center, and my supervisor Christy Connor. That there's tons of people you can bring in a Hall of Fame.
There really are when you think about it.
We're very, very blessed in this county.
We are very blessed. We are very, very fortunate with the. I've said this other times, and I'll probably say it again too. But it's always, everybody's kind of an ordinary. We're all ordinary, more or less, but everyone has something extraordinary about themselves, and that's completely and utterly and totally unique to them and those talents and how all that melds together, and it's just kind of makes it fun, which is part of why I even wanted to do this podcast, was because a lot of people talk about musicians and the musicians get to talk a lot, but I thought, well, this is a great opportunity to do a couple of things. Talk to the people that are the closest to the musicians, the wives and those kinds of things. But then even getting into it even more, I realized, there are so many more women that I wanted to talk to and get to know better and find out. And you are, I love that you were in the NASCAR thing. That was just so much fun when you said that. I thought, oh gosh, that's great.
Yeah. And like I said, I got to meet a lot of different musicians through there too.
Oh yeah, I bet you did.
I'll tell you a funny story. Was of course, when the hair bands started cutting their hair.
Yes.
Bon Jovi. I think John Bon Jovi was the first.
He was one of the first. Yeah.
And so we're sitting in the museum one day, and this man comes in the front doors of the museum, and I look at him. I thought, man, he looks so familiar. I don't know who that. I didn't know who he was, and he walked by, and I looked at him again, and I just kept on,
Yeah.
And when he left, I told the little girl that worked for me at the time. I said, I'm gonna go over there to the guest log. He wrote on the guest log. It was Ricky Rocket from Poison.
Really?
Had no. I mean, I was like, where did his hair go?
Yes.
Because it was short.
That's why you didn't recognize him. It's like,
that's
right there.
Yeah, but Mr. Hendrick loved music too, and he loves bluegrass. So I'm hoping to maybe be able to get him to the next induction ceremony.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
I was hoping to get him to the first one because of Earl, but yeah, he was too busy. He's a busy man.
His schedule didn't. Wasn't free that day.
That's right. So maybe the next one we'll get him.
So I'm going to ask you this question a couple of different ways. What would you go back and tell 15-year-old Angela?
Just don't drink as many soft drinks for one thing, because it puts the weight on. Yeah. And then, but just just work hard and your dreams will come true. It may take a little while. It took me a long time, especially after I left Hendrick. It took me a minute to get acclimated back. Learn, because I didn't know anybody in the county really.
Yeah.
I got through the chamber. I got to know Stan and a lot of different folks, and just worked hard to get to know volunteered wherever I could to get to know people. Okay. And that's what I did. So that's what I would say. Just work hard, get to know people,
put yourself out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep your friends. Yeah. Make new friends, and just. Keep going. Keep going on. I really feel like I've done well.
Yeah.
It's been a long journey. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, I'll
very
keep
interesting.
On
Yes,
going
I think you've got a whole lot more to show us all. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
Really glad that you're sharing it with us. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you one final question, and Remember, there's no rules here. There's no rules at all.
Okay.
I want to know what your guilty pleasure is, besides Grease.
Oh. Well, let's see. I don't know. I just love, really, I love going home, sitting back, listening to good music.
Yeah.
And I'm not a drinker, so I have to say I love my sitting there. I know it's going to sound crazy, with my Dr. Pepper, and just listening to some great music. And that winds me down at the end of the day. And I know that might sound a little boring, but
no, it doesn't. It sounds wonderful. It is all like that too.
Yeah. Me and my dog Barney just sitting there.
So what kind of dog do you have?
Jack Russell. Yeah. So he's my 15-year-old baby. Yeah.
Oh, he is a baby. He's the baby.
He's up there, but no, really, that's just winding down and especially when Delana's with her dad, I can just sit and
you
just
and Barney, is that his name? Yeah, you guys can just hang together.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So what are you going to go home and listen to tonight?
I'll probably listen to some Elvis tonight because I think what I'm going to do is watch the movie again. I think I know
it was a good movie. It was great. The guy was
really
awesome.
Was, and it's so hard to believe that Lisa Marie's gone.
I know,
and she's near our age.
She is.
Yeah, so I
very
just
close.
Can't get over that. But I think I'm gonna go home and watch that and
enjoy some of that music.
Exactly.
I think that sounds awesome. So, well, Angela, it has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. I enjoyed it myself.
Talking to you today. Thank you so much.
Thank
you so much.
You're welcome.
For giving your time and giving a lot of yourself tonight, too.
Thank you. And you're doing such a good job. I want you to know that.
Thank you.
Yeah. I enjoy your podcast very much. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I appreciate you asking me to be on. I really do.
Thank you very much, my love.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Beyond Bandwives. Look for our next episode. Until then, this is Poster Girl wishing you a beautiful, badass